we're revealing shocking and rare medical conditions that most people have never heard of, but they are very real. Ever since she was a baby, Ashley has been living with a disabling condition that literally turns her muscle into bone. She describes the feeling as being frozen because she can barely move. Check out Ashley. When Ashley was 3 years old, she was diagnosed with FOP, an extremely rare, crippling, and often life-threatening disease.
Eventually, her body would become very rigid and become immobile.
An early misdiagnosis cost Ashley her right arm. And as her condition deteriorated, it got to the point where she could barely move at all. And her life came to a standstill.
I lost mobility in my left arm slowly. I used to reach my forehead and comb my hair, and then over time, I wasn't able to anymore. It was very hard. Sometimes I didn't even want to go out just because I don't want people to stare at me.
Ultimately, doctors expect that Ashley will spend the rest of her life living like a human statue. And as the disease slowly hardens her body into a permanent position, Ashley has to keep coming up with new ways to stay mobile.
As much as I hate FOP and the pain it causes, I can't imagine my life without it. I wouldn't be who I am if I didn't have this. I can't imagine not being me.
Ashley, hello.
Hi.
Hi. So I know you described this as having two skeletons. Explain that. FOP is having two skeletons.
FOP, basically muscle turns to bone and causing all that extra bone where normally a normal person like you doesn't have it. So all my ligaments, tendons, and muscles calcify and turn to solid bone, and there's nothing, no cure right now for it, but there's nothing. It's just very hard to describe.
Got it. So over time, I understand that your mobility will go away. The mobility that you do have
correct.
Will go away.
Right now, 3 years ago, my leg went on me and it froze up from a car accident. We can't have trauma. So I was walking without this 4-inch shoe up until 3 years ago. And with that accident, it put me into the wheelchair because I can't do long distances. And if you feel this leg, it is rock hard. That's all solid bone.
Oh,
and I can't straighten. I have knee down, but I have to sit off the chair because underneath is so, it hurts to sit on anything.
Wow, so it's frozen in that position.
It is.
Okay. And you said it's like being frozen in a straitjacket. So like, you know, if somebody needs a straitjacket and they can't move because their arms are like tied in a certain way.
Exactly.
I know you try to explain it to people that don't have it. And
it's
so you
like
try to find these different things to explain it, right?
It's like being claustrophobic in your own body. You just, you want to move and just like get out there and do something, but you're paralyzed, but I have full sensation. I can feel when people feel the back of my neck, the bone, or my leg, I can feel everything. It's just you can't move it.
And how old are you?
I'm 28 now.
28, very young. Okay, what type of pain? Are you in pain often?
Not right now, and I'm one of the lucky ones. A lot of people with this disease are on pain medication every day to deal with the pain. When my leg, 3 years ago, I was in excruciating pain. They put me on methadone, and that, to me, didn't help at all. So it's just, luckily for now, I'm pain-free until something else decides to go.
Your mom's here with you. Tell me about your routine, because I know that you can't live alone, right? Your mom has to help you throughout your day.
Right. My mom is my home health care provider, so we are a good team. She's everything. Personally, I can't do anything for myself, from getting dressed, showering, bathing, washing, drying my hair. I can do my makeup myself still, preparing food.
I understand you do your makeup in an interesting way.
I do. I have like lengthening brushes so I can do it myself, and then when I do my eye makeup, if I mess up or something and I have to clean, I can't reach with my hand because shoulder to elbow stuck to my side. I can't move. I can barely reach my chin. So I use scissors with a Q-tip and go underneath my eyes or above and kind of...
So you take scissors, and then you put the Q-tip like in the scissors, and then bring it up.
And even like to clean out my ears myself, I just have to come up with different ways to keep some independence.
And tell me about sleep.
Sleeping right now for me is kind of, I mean, for me it's normal, but I sleep in a regular bed, and because my leg issue, when I stand up, it's stuck there. It doesn't move.
Okay.
So when I lay down, it's like stuck up in the air, and that's not comfortable, so I either lay on my left side or my right side. So if I wake up in the middle of the night and want to rotate, it's just I wake myself up because the effort it takes to move, because my upper body is so stiff and rigid, I can't just roll over like normally.
Got it. And I know that you were once married.
I was married for 3 years, and we had a good relationship, but it was, I think, the disease kind of was progressing at that time, and we ended on good terms, and it was kind of my choice, but he still calls me, and we're still somewhat good friends, and he knew my health went downhill 3 years ago, and he still stays in touch, but
Still stays in touch, like dating a little?
No,
or
no.
not at all?
I haven't seen him in years, but he just calls and checks up on me every couple months and makes sure I'm okay and what's going on.
How is that? Do you crave any affection from a man? You're 28 years old.
That doesn't go away.
Yeah.
But he was my first and only boyfriend, and he was the last. So it's hard because a typical guy doesn't want somebody with, let alone something. It's one thing if it stopped and I wasn't going to get worse, but we don't know.
Yeah, but you don't know.
They found the gene 3 years ago. So hopefully a cure's around our corner, and then maybe, because I'm still young, so I mean, who knows?
And then tell me about intimacy with your husband. How did that go? Because
back then, I was fine. My leg wasn't an issue, so I could be intimate with him. But since then, I haven't been intimate with anybody else. And with my leg issue, I don't know. It might be a little bit awkward, but I just haven't had that opportunity to.
So, Mom, you take care of her.
Yes, I do.
Now explain how Ashley came into your life.
Well, we were 12 years married with no children. We adopted a little boy, and then we wanted a little girl, and we got Ashley when she was 8 weeks. Lovely, healthy, as you can see in the picture, is beautiful. She had a funny big toe that we brought to the pediatrician's attention. It was missing the middle knuckle, and he just said, well, her husband will have expensive shoe bills, don't worry about it. And so we went from there, and when she was about 2 1/2, I was sewing something for her, and as you run your hand along down when you're making something, I felt this huge lump that was not there the night before when I bathed her.
Wow.
And so after the processes of the diagnosis, we did a biopsy and so forth, and they told us she had infantile fibromatosis.
Which is a form of cancer.
Which is a form of cancer, non-metastasizing, kind of grows like ivy. And they said they wanted to watch it. And, you know, in the 80s, you didn't watch things like this. So I more or less got out of Dodge, picked up my baby, all my information, went out of town for another diagnosis, and confirmed this one and said, no, we don't watch, we remove. So we went into a 5-hour surgery, and they said halfway through, it's so far gone that we have to remove the arm and the shoulder and the full upper quadrant. So, you know, you peel yourself off the wall and get on with it. And it's been a long road.
Now, the doctor said that she would live till what age?
Well, actually, when we came out of that surgery, we thought that we had gotten rid of the beast. And so we went through the radiation treatments, and after all, we were treating this other disease.
Yes.
And when we went back home for rehabilitation, we got a phone call. It was several months later, because we had come back to Atlanta and had a protocol, and he called us and he said, this is FOP. What is FOP? This is what it is, and he explained it, and he said she would be dead by between 2 and 10 years. And, you know, you're standing there with your child, what is it? You run to the library. We didn't have PCs in the home back then in the 80s, and there was this much information in the volumes that I could go through, and I was in a box.
Yeah. But that was, they said she had 2 to 10 years, and now you're 28 years old.
Yeah.
So what does that feel like, to have defied what medical, experts had said about your lifespan? Pretty
amazing. I mean, we do have this disease. It affects so few people. There's less than 700 worldwide, less than 285 in the United States.
Have you met anybody else?
Oh, I'm very connected in our community.
Good.
It's just, I've been in it since it was started back in '88. So my friends have helped me through all the troubles I've had, but I've seen young kids, older adults. I mean, I just know through meeting them, I didn't worry as much as I did when I was little, when we didn't know. So we've had kids die just because they are way more affected. We've had, the oldest just died last year, and she was, I think, in her 70s. Wow. With the cure around the corner.
The cure is around the corner.
Exactly.
So for more information on FOP, you should go to tyrashow.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tyra.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Oh, yeah.